Things got quite uneasy at the press conference where we saw Mike Pompeo, the U.S. Secretary of State, speaking alongside Steve Mnuchin, the Secretary of Treasury. And this comes just a week after the killing of Iran's top general, Qasem Soleimani. And as the press asked questions, it got particularly tense. Mike Pompeo seemed a little bit uncomfortable trying to answer the questions of journalists who just don't seem to buy his claim that the killing of Soleimani was necessary to protect American lives. Let's take a listen to some of what went on.
Did you have specific information about an imminent threat, and did it have anything to do with our embassies?
We had specific information on an imminent threat, and those threat stream included attacks on U.S. embassies.
What is your definition of imminent?
This was going to happen, and American lives were at risk. The intelligence community is not flawless. We get it wrong. In this case, the intelligence community got it fundamentally right. There was an imminent attack. There was active plotting.
Is that threat now gone with Soleimani gone?
Threats are never gone.
Now, it wasn't just the journalists who don't exactly buy Pompeo's claims, but American lawmakers also have their doubts. We just saw in the U.S. House of Representatives, the lower house of the U.S. legislative branch, a resolution was passed attempting to restrict the activities of the Trump administration and trying to prevent them from further escalating tensions with the Islamic Republic of Iran. However, these doubts about whether it was the right thing in order to kill Qasem Soleimani go well beyond legislators and journalists. They actually go to the U.S. public itself. We have new poll results that have been conducted, and it shows that basically 2/3 of the U.S. public believes at this point that the country is less safe because of Trump's decision to kill the top Iranian general. Furthermore, 69% of the U.S. public believes that Iran is more likely to attack the USA as a result of Trump's decisions. 52% described Trump killing Qasem Soleimani as reckless. So a pretty solid opposition to Trump's killing of Qasem Soleimani among American people themselves. Well, at the press conference, Mike Pompeo and Steve Mnuchin laid out basically what these new sanctions will include. The new sanctions are targeting high-level officials in Iran, basically preventing any business transactions with them. But when explaining these new sanctions, Mike Pompeo used some rather interesting language to lay out what he argued was the ultimate end game of the United States when it comes to Iran.
The president said we don't want war. We want Iran to behave like a normal nation. The reason that the Secretary of Treasury and I are here this morning is to continue this campaign, our strategic effort to get Iran to behave in a way that doesn't continue their 40-year-long effort to terrorize the world.
If you hear those words, he refers to saying that he wants Iran to be a, quote, normal country. So essentially, it seems the United States is escalating threats and carrying out more sanctions with the goal of forcing the Islamic Republic to conduct itself in a manner that the United States considers to be normal. Not exactly clear what that means, but until that happens, there will be further activities and sanctions and threats and whatnot. Now, many are hoping that the current situation is in a state of de-escalation, but at the same time, people worry about what could happen next. You know, the sanctions still remain. Iran still has the capabilities. We saw the recent strikes that took place.